Great day, family, and thank you for tuning in to the CNN. Thank you, family, and great day, family. Thank you for tuning in to the Community Nonprofit Network podcast, the CNN podcast where your nonprofit shines. My name is Erica Scott. This podcast is brought to you by Life Changers and is sponsored by the Book Coaching. Please, if you find any value in this episode or any future episode, please like it, share it, and subscribe to our podcast. That inspires us to keep going, to keep bringing you the information and the resources and the guests that can help you in your new or struggling nonprofit to be the absolute best, to provide the absolute best service in your community. And isn't that what you started out for? Isn't that what you're striving for? Amen. So let's get into it. First and foremost, disclaimer: I am not a tax professional. I am not a legal professional. So I just want to get that out of the way, because we're going to talk about, which is probably your favorite subject of all times, taxes. Yes, it is about that time. And why do I say it's that time? You may be saying, okay, Erica, it's not even March. It's not even April. Yeah, but we don't do things last minute. And as you probably know, as I've said it many times before, this podcast caters to new and struggling nonprofits. And especially if you're new, I really urge you to get in the habit of doing those things you don't want to do, doing them fast, getting them out, doing them first, getting them out of the way, be done with it. Amen? So yes, taxes, like any other business, and this is a business, as I have reiterated time and time again. This is a business, and your nonprofit needs to be run as such. It's the type of business it is. We are non-exempt from corporate taxes. Okay, in case you didn't know, that's what you were filing for, the 501c3. This episode, these filing tips and information resources are for the 990 filers. So if you file a 990, if you file a 990EZ, or if you file a 990N, which I think the majority of us fall, as of this recording anyway, amen? The majority of us fall into the 990N bucket, and I'll explain why in a minute. But we need to know, first of all, when we're supposed to even file. So, assuming that your tax filing year, and you may not have filled out your 1023, but which is the form to even get tax exempt status, your 1023, it would ask you what is your filing year, right? What is your accounting year, your fiscal year? And for most of us, it's January 1 to December 31. Right, December 31st. And so but because everybody's isn't, this is how the IRS explains the due date for your 990. On the 15th day of the 5th month after the end of your fiscal year is when your 990 is due. So again, on the 15th day of the 5th month after the close of your fiscal year, that is when your 990 is due. In easier terms, if you're like us, our fiscal year is January 1st to December 31st. So that means our 990 is due on May 15th, on the 5th month, the 15th day after the close of your fiscal year. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, as always, please reach out to your, not me on this one, reach out to your tax professional okay? Your tax accountant, your tax attorney, they will know. But hey, you can do it. All I'm doing is sharing the information that I dug up for Life Changers, my nonprofit, because I know they don't have it on the website just for me. They don't have it on the website just for my nonprofit. But I will say kudos to IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, Uncle Sam, whatever you want to call them, because they have done such an awesome job especially the last like 5 or 6 years, of keeping the most relevant information on their website, irs.gov, and making it easy to find. It's been there. They just make it easy to find. They're almost getting like Google. You can misspell a word and still find what you're looking for. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. So let's get into this. So now, what are the 3 types of forms nonprofits file? Okay? And so the first form is a 990N. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one simply because, like I said, that's the bucket that I believe the majority of nonprofits, not just who's listening to us, but the majority of the 1.5 million nonprofit organizations fall into, at least the 501c3s, okay? I don't know about 501c4s and Ds, all of those. There's so many nonprofits, it blew my mind when I was applying for, I think it was the Walmart grant, and they want you to, 501c3. Okay, what kind are you? What? Whew. Okay. You learn as you go, though, right? So the 3 types of 990s, like I said, the first is the 990N, and that is required if your gross receipts were less than $50,000 for your fiscal year. Okay, so if your previous year, when you're filing, you're always going to go off of your fiscal year. Like I said, if it's January 1 to December 31st, that's your fiscal year. So everything added up is included. That's what they're wanting you to include. Okay. So now, and it was really interesting. Just a side note, if you didn't listen to it, go back and listen to Fundraising Expert Shares Simple Tips on How to Boost Donations. And that was with Tim of Next After, the episode before this one. And, you know, we all gear up for Giving Tuesday, hashtag Giving Tuesday. You know, that's like the Black Friday of the retail world. Giving Tuesday is like that for the nonprofit space. It's a very big, nice boost for donations, right? Not just money, though. Donations of food and clothing, real estate, land, you know, cars. I mean, because why? It's at the end of the year, and a lot of companies and people, you know, high net worth people and businesses hey, we need to get rid of this so we don't have to pay taxes on it, right? Or we need to get rid of this so we can claim this as a donation. We didn't have enough donations. We're not maxed out on donations. Let's get this. Let's get this donated. Let's get this donated so we can get the deduction, right? Fine, donate it. Yes. But what's interesting in what's interesting is what Tim shared. Tim said, Giving Tuesday is, yes, a big donation day, but not nearly as big as New Year's Eve. December 31st is the biggest donation day of the year. That is for those who may have been getting ready for their books, you know, getting ready to file their taxes, going through their books and say, wait a minute. We have $5,000 we can still donate. Get rid of it. Why? Because they're either going to give it away and take that deduction, or they're going to pay taxes on it. Which makes them look better, that they pay their taxes. Oh, we know that's not true because we have too many big, you know, public figures out here who are doing everything in their power, everything in the law, and they say it is the law, doing everything in their law not to pay taxes. And a lot of people give them kudos on that, whatever. So, but yes, the 990N is due on May 15th. Is due the 15th day, on the 5th month, the 15th day in the 5th month after the close of your fiscal year. Okay, and then the 990N again is for if your gross receipts were under $50,000 for your fiscal year. The 990N can only be filed electronically. Okay, that's the only way. You can't walk in with it. There's no paper form for it. Okay, and now if you want to file a 990, that you can do by paper. Why you'd want to, I don't know. I would hope you're not that anti-technology that you don't want to find someone who can help you file this. My understanding, and again, I can't say it with any certainty, but from the research that I've been doing on the IRS website for this information to share with you and me, is it's only like 8 questions. It's like 8 questions. Some of which I know you're going to need, of course, is your nonprofit's information, the name, address, contact person. You're going to need how much you did bring in, your donations, gifts, grants, monetary and physical, a car, clothes, food, whatever people donated and you gave them a receipt for. Thank you for your donation of blah, blah, blah. And that, again, tax professional territory. I'm just letting you know. So you'll also need to know your board members' information. So all your board members, first and last name, I'm not sure. Hopefully, because I haven't done ours yet either. Hopefully, you'll be able to go in and start it, see what they need, answer what you can, then see what they need that you don't have, come save your work there, and then come out and get it. So I'm not sure what they need, but I would really think that what you have, they already, you have what they need. Now, as you may or may not know, I am a retired long-haul truck driver. I retired from a company I started in 2003. And so for 2019, 16, my now ex-husband, he still owns and operates it. But for the years that I was doing the bookkeeping, and for 10 of those years, I did use QuickBooks. And we had to, all kinds of schedules. All kinds of schedules. Now remind you, I did the bookkeeping and the accounting. I did not file the taxes. I did do the prep work, the tax prep. I did not file them, but I broke down all the categories and the numbers and the receipts and the blah, 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 blah. So I know in our nonprofit, what I always advocate, a nonprofit is a business. You need to treat it as such, and this is no different. So over there, I filed an 1120 for our S Corp, which is just, income for a corporation, okay? Over here, we're doing a 990, which includes all the different, information that we'll need. A long 990 is going to ask for a lot more. The 990N, if you can get to a library, if you can get now, if you go to a library, I'm not saying a librarian is going to help you. And, but if you go to a library because you have a smartphone or a tablet, you don't have a computer or a laptop, which you have to have a computer or a laptop. They strongly suggest you don't use a smartphone or a tablet. I wouldn't suggest that anyway. But if you need to just use the library to get this done, then, do that. But definitely don't shy away from getting it done. I urge you to get it done now. I'm not trying to oversimplify it, because especially if you haven't done it. If you haven't done it yet, get in there, get it done. Bite the bullet, get it water under the bridge. Okay, done. That's the major deal for this year. Done. Okay. And so now, so you have to do it electronically. They have what's called an e-postcard, because basically what you're filing is not is more so considered like an information return. Okay, it's for your nonprofit, but it's like an information return, just letting them know, yeah, we haven't made much. So when you get to the $50,000 mark, then you're listed on the then you're listed on the IRS website. Anything over 50,000, anything 50,000 and above, any nonprofit that brings in 50,000 or above gets listed on their website. And why? For potential donors. Keep in mind, folks, let me just make a side note. Keep in mind, folks, this is just a side note. Just a bit of FYI for your information. The reason why it takes the IRS so long to even approve or respond to your 1023 application, the application you filed to become a nonprofit, a tax-exempt status business, is because think about what you're asking. I want to not have to pay corporate taxes. Okay? I don't want to have to pay income taxes. What does that basically mean? That's like if you say, you know what, I don't want to pay my mortgage. What's your banker going to say? What's your loan officer, the bank where your mortgage is? What's that company going to say? And under, why? So that's what the 1023 application, that's why it's an application. That's why it's an application. You have to apply to take money out of the IRS pocket. That's basically the gist of it. You're taking money out of their pocket. So these forms, they are very specific because that's what you're doing. They want you to report to them why you're not paying, corporate taxes. And yeah, they're going to make it harder on you. And that's my opinion. They're going to make it harder on you. And, it is what it is, folks. If you have that burning desire to serve your community and do good, what you've been doing, keep that fire in you while you're doing your taxes, while you're getting your taxes done. Even if you do have to file a 990 EZ, which I'll get to in a second, or a 990, the long form. Even if you do have to file those, do it still keep your community, keep your passion, keep your vision, your mission, your value statement in front of you, so that this little bump in the road, if it's even that, the 990, that it's not a bump in the road yet, but hopefully the kind of impact you're probably wanting to make down the road would call for you needing a 990. And why is that? Okay, so now to move on to the other types of forms. Okay, so if your nonprofit's gross receipts total less than 200,000, but over the 50,000 that we just talked about for the 990N, then but you're less than $200,000 and has total assets of 500,000 or less. Has assets totaling less than 500,000. Okay, you will file the 990EZ. Okay, so again, that is less than 200,000, but over 50,000. Okay, so you have 150,000 around about there, and with total assets of less than $500,000, you will file a 990EZ. Okay? So now with the big one. If your nonprofit has gross receipts greater than 200,000, that sounds nice, or total assets greater than 500,000. What? That's property. That's cars. That's nice. That's land. That's equipment. Awesome. Great work. Then you get to file the full 990. Okay? And that's a great thing though. I can only hope. Look, back in the day when they first started reporting Oprah's revenue, what she was making, and that's when she made it big, when they started reporting it. I was like, oh, if I could just have what she pays in taxes. I'm not going to ask for it and then shy away because something as simple as the IRS, comes with their, okay, well, you got that. We're letting you take money out of our pocket, but we need you to itemize every dollar. Well, right now, we're not having to itemize every dollar if you gross under 50,000, right? And I think it's well worth it. Again, if you're doing the good in the community that you planned on doing, you see growth, I would really hope that some forms would not hinder you. However, please remember, you don't have to do all the work. Just get all the work done. So that means you don't have to know how to file the 990 easy or the 990 long form, but just know what you're looking at when you see it. Okay, you don't have to know how to do the bookkeeping and accounting, but understand what you're looking at. I equate it to when you're in school taking a test, and my favorite was always multiple choice. Why? Because I'm not always so great at recalling answers, but I know it if I see it. Okay, so even though I may not be great at bookkeeping and accounting anymore, I'll know it if I'll know what I'm looking at. Even if you've never done it, you'll know what you're looking at. If you know how to balance a checkbook, if you know how to balance a checkbook, you'll know what you're looking at. If you know how to YouTube, learn what you need to be looking at. There's no excuse why you don't know what you need to know. Okay, and don't put all your trust into people. Don't put all, and I don't care who's listening to this part. Don't put all your trust into everybody. You don't have to do it all. Just get it all done does not mean that you hand it off to someone, and forget about it. You don't have to do all the work. Just get all the work done means you're still on top of it, looking from what I call a 30,000 foot view, like an eagle-eyed view, looking over your whole organization and only swooping in to help and give a hand and fix the little problems, the problems as they come up, and then you're boom, back up in the air looking from above. Okay? I hope that made sense. Okay, so now, you have the 990N can only be done electronically with an e-postcard, and that 990N is under $50,000. You have your 990EZ from $50,000 up to $200,000, and if you have a total amount of assets of under $500,000, that's your 990EZ. That does come available in the paper form as well. Okay, and then you have the big boy. You have the 990 long form, and that is if you're doing over 200,000 and or total assets over 500,000. Okay, and again, they're due on the 15th day of the 5th month after your fiscal year closes. For many of us, that is December 31st. Okay. So now, again, the IRS, kudos to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. They are doing a bang-up job keeping their website up to date with very good and easy to find and easy to read information. Somebody must talk to them about their writing, their writing skill, their information that they put out, because it used to be, almost felt like you had to have a master's in accounting to read it. Okay, so now they have a, and I'm going to, everything I'm talking about, I'm linking to in the description, in the show notes. Just go to the website, thecnnpodcast.com, And when you find this episode, I have listed everything for you. Okay? So now you are going to do this electronically. I'm going to I have a link for you to get the directions. It was a lot to put onto the website, onto my website, so onto our website. So I left a link, and you can click on that, and you'll have the whole step-by-step how to file your 990N. Okay? I have faith in you. I think you can do it. I think you can do it. Okay? I also have on there links to all the 990 forms. So if you need the EZ, if you need the long form, come on over and get it. Come on over and get it. Okay? So now, one thing that you may need is to file an extension. So now, how much does it cost to file the 990? Well, of course, that can vary depending on who you talk to, which business it is, and how you plan to file. And the reason why the how makes a difference is, of course, if you can file on your own and through somebody's portal, the electronic portal, not the IRS, but you use the IRS for the 990N, but I'm talking about for the EZ and the long form. If you can use somebody's portal, then of course they're not going to charge as much. If they have to actually do the work, it's going to cost more. So I found a few different sites with different prices, and I'm not linking them there. I don't know them. I'm just using them as reference for dollars' sake. Okay, so you have an idea of what it's costing. So one was on a sliding scale to electronically file your 990 EZ or 990 on their website. And their scale started at $41, and it depended on some other stuff. I didn't get into it, so again, I'm not giving them as a resource. But I'll tell you what I filed though. I'll tell you what I searched. I went on Google and searched cost to file 990. Period. That's it. Cost to file 990. And this one here with the sliding scale was the very first, which tells me he paid a lot of money to be in that top spot. But they were the very first to pop up. And then, now that's electronic. You have some others that aren't electronic. And those can range, what I've seen so far, those can range from $1,500 to $3,000. Okay? So, can I give you a little business coach tip? Because you know that this like my zone right here. Okay, so you're filing a 990 this year. So you're filing a 990N this year because you're new or struggling, or maybe you had your nonprofit just kind of sitting to the side for a minute, and now you're ready to crank things back up, right? Step back into the purpose on the path that was laid out for you to do what you do. Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome back. I would strongly suggest that even though you're able to file a 990N this year, that you put into your budget. Yes, folks, we need to have a budget for this year, even if we don't have money yet. Okay? So to put into your budget the fees for filing your 990, hopefully easy, next year. Okay, that's the one that goes up to 200,000 buckaroos or 500,000 in assets. Okay, you may have some major things in the works that would require you to file a 990. Go for it. Hey, kudos. Find out what it is, which that would more than likely be closer to the 3,000 end of the spectrum. So put away for the 3,000, and so that way when it comes next year, you got it. Okay? And so that's my little business coach tidbit to I guess a twofer. So get your budget ready for this year, which hopefully you got it done last year, but if not, it's never too late to get your budget done this year for this year, but also to add, even if you want to add in your budget a line item where once a month you're saving, $20. Okay, that $20, $200, whatever you think it's going to cost. You call around to the tax prep people who can file a 990. Again, that's another tip. Every tax prep place does not file a 990. They don't. We know there's work on our part. There's even more work on their part to do it, not just do it, but do it right. This is not like your 1040. Okay? This is an intricate tax. When you get into the bigger numbers, because donations have to be handled one way, maybe trusts and real estate and car, it's so different. You have to be certified and all kind of stuff, and a lot of them don't even want to be bothered. I mean, honestly, a lot of trust me, I was looking, and they don't want to be bothered. Amen. Okay, so now when we have the types of who files what, when, everyone, no matter what you file, when you have to file, and if you do need to file an 8865, that is your extension, then you can do that for free on the IRS website, irs.gov. And I mean, if you do want to pay someone to do it, that's your prerogative. Hey, your money. But you can file it free. Just like, I mean, I don't know, maybe you did or didn't, but just like with the 1040, yeah, you that was free. Go right on there, zoop 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 zoop, get it done. And just so you know, the IRS phone number is 1-800 for business. This is for business. 1-800-829-4933. Again, 800-829-4933. And let me tell you, folks, they are available 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay? But let me share this with you. And this is from years of experience having to deal with Uncle Sam and them in my trucking company. Okay? And business is business. Again, I have not had to contact the IRS for a nonprofit, but I know this is the same number I call for my business, for the trucking business. Okay? So if you have to call, be ready to hit that last 3 in the phone number at 7 a.m. on the dot. Because that will have you waiting very minimal. I mean, a few seconds after the blurb and all that. A few seconds, IRS agent number, blah, 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 blah. But you wait till 7:10, and this, I'm speaking from experience, not being funny, but being as real, truthful, honest as I possibly can. Wait till I called 7 on the dot, got somebody within 45 seconds to the phone. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Okay, well, what is your, I don't even remember what it was, it's some years ago. What is your blah, blah, blah? Where would I find that? She told me where to find it. Okay, can you give me, well, no, if it's going to take you that long to get it, ma'am, then I'll need to have you call back. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I called back at 7:10. 7:10. I think it was more like 7:08. 7:10. We'll say. I sat on the phone for 1.5 hours just to get somebody on. Not to be done with my business on the phone, just to get an agent on the phone. 1 hour and a half. 90 minutes. So, again, I suggest if you need to call the IRS, have your finger ready to hit the dial, ready to hit the have your finger ready to hit that last three at 7 o'clock on the dot. I digress. I'm backing away from that one. Okay, so now I have added. If you come to the website to this episode, you will see you will see great resources that the IRS shared with us for nonprofits, and it goes further into taxes. I mean, all kind of good information. There's too much to list here, but it's definitely really, really good information. One of which there's another link in here for the e-postcard, which is due every year by the 15th day of the 5th month after the close of your tax year. And again, just in case I misunderstood anything, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a legal professional dealing with taxes or anything else. Okay? So please double check. I'm giving you what I've gotten from the IRS and my understanding. Okay? So now, okay, folks. So if you need to file, an extension, if you need to request an extension, you can for free with the IRS, and that, hopefully you don't need to. If if you, I'll say this, and I don't think this has changed. You are allowed as a nonprofit organization to go 3 years without filing. Okay? And I know, just like any other business, there are reasons why people won't file. But please don't let lack of preparation be the reason. I honestly don't know what other reasons there are, but please don't let lack of preparation be the reason, especially if all you have to file is the e-postcard with its less than a dozen questions on it. That there, because even though you may not be dealing with it, if you're working in your community, your nonprofit organization, you're working in your community and you're getting it done, you're doing what you set out to do when you form this, even though you may not be dealing with the postcard, it's there. Get it off your mind, get it out of your head, get it caught up, get it done, get it done, get it done. I really, I don't understand why some people do what I filed extensions on my 1040. I sure have. Yeah. Either I waited till the last minute, all honesty, transparent. I waited till the last minute to file and realized I didn't have what I needed to file. I didn't have a piece of form, a piece of a paper, receipt, or something that was going to make a big difference. Okay? It is what it is. We have our reasons. But I've never filed late, and all I had to have was my W-2. Of course that's me, but I would really hope, again, that if you just need to file a postcard online, that you can ask somebody to help you do that. If it's a matter of, I don't know how to get on the website, I don't have a computer or a laptop, I can't get to the library. There's, there's a way to get it done. And I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. So I am excited. I'm excited. I mean, I'm not going to say like, woo woo, I've been waiting all this time, but I'm excited to get it out of the way. I'll say that. We're about to file our first. And yes, I'm excited to get it out of the way. One thing I would suggest, and this isn't a plug for them, but it's definitely a big tip for you. I would strongly suggest, if you don't have QuickBooks to do your taxes in, to get it. To get it. Even if you don't know how to use QuickBooks, folks, this day and age, we are blessed with technology up the wazoo. We are blessed with technology we don't even need, but we find a way to use it. Okay? This is definitely a worthy cause to learn technology. Okay? We're talking about using YouTube. Yeah, you may have to sit on YouTube for 3-4 hours to get QuickBooks done. If you don't have the budget to pay somebody, you don't want to deal with interns or volunteers. You don't want to wait for volunteers to come in to do it, and it's, you don't have to do all the work, but you got to make sure all the work gets done. So sometimes that means getting into the trenches and doing it yourself. Okay. And no, CFOs, especially if you're waiting, CFOs, tax people volunteering, especially right now in the tax season, is not going to be easy. It's simply not. I asked a friend of mine, and they were like, no, I'm not even fooling with taxes anymore, period. I'm traveling. Awesome. For them. Awesome. And they deserve it. They deserve it. Trust me. When I say they deserve it, they deserve it. But yeah, finding the help that's not paid, intern. I'm really big on interns. We have, in Life Changers, we have an awesome internship program, lit internship program. Yeah. All of our programs are lit, Life Changers in training. We just haven't been able to find one that does taxes. Or not just does taxes, but does 990s. Because again, every tax professional will not do a 990 for you. They simply won't. They won't do a 990 for you. Maybe you know a tax professional who won't do a 990, but if you know them personally, like your cousin, your brother, or whoever, they might help you get it done. That's a huge blessing that a lot of us don't have, But you have to find, look, one thing I know about being a nonprofit, if you don't have the money, the $1,500 to $3,000 to pay to get your 990 done, but you're making it happen in your community, you're calling this one, pooling in resources, partnering with that, then that means, that tells me, and I could be wrong, but that tells me you would be a resourceful person. That tells me you would be a resourceful person. So I have a sneaky suspicion you'll be able to figure out how to get this done. So let's not have the excuses. Let's just find the solutions and get this done, because I really would hate to think that you shut your doors, as I have seen it before. You shut your door, or excuse me, your doors were shut simply because you didn't want to address something that you didn't know how to do. Okay? So again, go to YouTube, get QuickBooks. You can go to TechSoup. If you have the Google Ads grant, or if you have HubSpot for nonprofits, or a few other things, you had to get qualified as a nonprofit, or verified rather, as a nonprofit through TechSoup. Okay? They tie into the IRS and they check your, that your status is good, blah, 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 blah. And through TechSoup is also where you can purchase QuickBooks. TechSoup is a nonprofit. They are a techie nonprofit because they get licenses to sell products like QuickSoup, like QuickBooks at cost. So I got blessed one day and was able to tie in with an Intuit sales rep. Intuit is who makes QuickBooks, and he explained to me, and he went on his computer as I went on mine, and he said, okay, you see this? Click that. You see that? Click that. And okay, go down, scroll, because there's so many types of QuickBooks, even for nonprofits. And TechSoup has like a license to all of them. And so I'm like, I see this one for $99. I see this one for $149. Da, da, da. He's like, no. Okay, you want this one for $75. I'm like, 75? Oh, yeah, I want that one. What is it? And it's the one that we need. So I don't have it in front of me. I don't know the name. But if you go to TechSoup and pull up QuickBooks in the search bar and scroll for one that's $75, I have a feeling it's probably, that was about 4 months ago, but I have a feeling it's still the same. And start using it. Go on YouTube, learn how to use it. Because I tell you this, like any business, if you stay on top of nothing else, please stay on top of your pennies. Watch your coins. So yeah, that's a tidbit of information for you as far as how to get your QuickBooks, how to get taken care of what you need to get done for your taxes. And again, I am not a tax professional. I did say I prepared and filed taxes. I prepared the taxes for my trucking business for 10 years, but that is a different beast. Okay? That is a different beast. But thankfully, I did learn how to use QuickBooks as a result of doing tax prep for my trucking company. As far as filing taxes, I'll just say this, in all honesty, I did it for like 3 years, and yeah, we came out with a bill. It didn't go too well. But don't let that scare you from this. I'm not, I know QuickBooks is going to help me break down the donation that we got from, earlier right after we got our 501c3 certification from the IRS. Shout out to Walmart and Sam's Club for that $500. And so in QuickBooks, I now will have to turn around and show the camera equipment that we bought for one of the programs we hold, along with the resume paper, the printer, the different things. Because like when you have a grant, and I believe it's called classes, when you have a grant, you have to list these classes and the information for that specific grant. So if that specific grant gave you $100,000 and $50,000 is for the program, $25,000 is for payroll, and another $25,000 is for overhead, or some may call it discretionary. You have to itemize the amount you use out of for payroll. And, it's going to have your dates. And so I paid Susie Q. I paid John Q. I paid, $1,000. And so these are the things, that go in there and what they're looking for. So now please understand that no matter how small you are, you can still be audited. If you only pulled in $5,000, and you can still be audited. I've never heard anybody say that, nonprofits that bring in under $50,000, the ones that file 90 in, they never get audited. No, said no one ever. But you know what? I'm humble, and I am not a fool who despises correction. Okay? So if I'm wrong, and anyone filing a 990 cannot be audited, bring that to me. Please bring me that information. Yes, please bring it to me. So folks, I'm going to wrap it up there. I think that gave you the gist Again, I'm giving you some information that you're going to need as a nonprofit who files a 990, a 990EZ, or a 990N electronically. Um, so you have your due date, you have what a fiscal year is, in case you didn't understand what that is. It's just, again, basically, it is the year that your company operates in its fiscal money calendar. Okay. And most people do January 1st to December 31st. Just double check your paperwork to make sure that that is what you are set up as. Okay. And so you learn the different types of forms. You learn the different, you learn the due date, what a fiscal year is. Some tips as far as 990 is not going to be able to be filled out by just any tax prep. And the reason why I'm even sharing this is not to ramble on, but it is to let you know that there may be more time invested in finding someone to do this, even if you have the money. Okay. And even if you have the money, doesn't mean you let the first person who says, oh yeah, I do 990s. No. No. Just like more than likely you wouldn't go to the first car lot who sells this car that you want. You're going to check it out, not just for prices, but who has the best warranty. Who has the best Google reviews rule the world, right? Google reviews is why so many purchases are made or not made. Google review. So yes, definitely check out the Google reviews. A good tax prep who does 990s, they're going to probably have some reviews because there's a good chance they've been in it for a while. I don't know what the criteria is, so I'm not going there. But I don't know. Then the IRS may say you had to be a tax prep in good standing with the IRS for some years. We have to be in good standing as people. They checked us out. The state, Georgia, Secretary of State. When we filed, we had in order. Okay, and I did an episode on this months ago, so you have to go digging in it. I didn't think I was going to go into this, but I am. So I don't have the episode number ready, and I don't remember which one it's in. But on the state level, right, you have in Georgia, you have charitable donations. I can't think of the name of the form, but you have a form, I think it was S or C100. C100. C like cat 100 here in Georgia with the Secretary of State. Check your Secretary of State, sos.yourstateinitials.gov. Okay, so here in Georgia, sos.ga.gov. And they did a background check. They sure did. They did a background check. And I don't know how this relates to the IRS, and maybe it was, I don't believe in coincidences. I know I completed my C100 and background check one day, literally the very next day, literally 3 days later, I had my 501c3 in the mail from the IRS. I don't know if the IRS was waiting for that paper, for that background check to be completed by the state. I don't know. It just was very interesting to me that just a few days after completing the background that I got the 501c3 in the mail. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. So that's something, check with yours. But again, all that to say, do your research, do your due diligence in who is filing your form, even if it's somebody you know and who you've been getting, because I couldn't go to my guy. I couldn't go to my tax guy. And he used to work for the IRS, and he does not. He was quick to say he does bookkeeping, but he does not do 990s. Period. Okay. And honestly, I didn't even ask if he did bookkeeping for nonprofits, because I didn't even know all about how the grants and stuff had to be handled in QuickBooks. So hey, there you go. Maybe you can find a tax prep who will give you a package deal on bookkeeping, tax prep, and filing your taxes for your nonprofit. So, all that to say, I hope and pray that you are able to find someone who you can work with, who you trust and can afford for years to come. So now, if you have any questions, please go to the website, drop them in YouTube or on the podcast itself, and let us know if you have questions, and or visit us on social media. Connect with us. Reach out. Hey, how you doing? And let us know what you're up to, what kind of business you're in. If you need help, do you need resources? What can we do to help you be the best you can be to serve your community at the highest level that you can possibly reach? Again, we're here developing a global network of community organizations who are just looking to uplift their community and the people in it by whatever passion by whatever drives their passion, whether it's daycare or literacy or teaching kids how to use computers, walking dogs, feeding the homeless, whatever your thing is, we want to know about it. We want to know about it because, again, the foundation is building a business and needing resources. We need financial resources. Hey, I know about a grant you may be able to take advantage of. Hey, I know about this program you might be able to take advantage of. And that's what we're here. Each one, teach one, bless one. That's my hashtag on LinkedIn. So until next time, folks, as always, so I urge you to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. I ask that you, if you found any value in this, please share it with your friends, your family, and your online community. And again, if you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, or you'd like to advertise or know someone who would, great, give them our information, and we look forward to connecting with you, with them, however you want to do it. If you want to contact us in public on our social media or our website, great. If not, go to our website, click the contact us, and you can send us a private note. And until next time, folks, as always, be awesome and be blessed.